doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
Rockin' and rollin', one of the most anticipated guests to ever be on the Kid L Podcast. Esham is in the building. How you doing today, man?
What up, though, Kid L? How you doing? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course, man. When I go through my comments, when I go through everybody that wants to know about Detroit history, where it all started, they talk about pioneers, your name comes up every single time, man. I'm getting death threats, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is kind of like I had to do this interview or else I would have died and shit.
Oh, man, sorry to hear that, first of all. I mean, a lot of people are just passionate about the music and how it all started. And, yeah, man, you got any questions or anything? I'm here.
No, I just wanted to have you chill on the
clarify.
couch and just sit there, bro.
Well,
Like,
shit, I'm on the couch, you know what I'm saying? Rick James style.
let's just chill out. Let's
You
just
know
chill
what I'm
out.
saying? We gonna chill out here on the couch and shit. I ain't gonna go Rick James and be like, fuck your couch and nothing
Yeah, I
like
feel
that,
you.
but I'm gonna just keep it jiggy.
You know, we had Awesome Dre on here, man. I'm sure you're familiar with Awesome Dre as well. That was like a huge moment to help people understand the early days of what Detroit music was, stemming from like the 80s-ish. When we talk about you, we're talking about 89, we're talking about the Boomin tape, right? That's when people are getting really familiar with you and understanding who you are and what your music is all about. And then you just progress with more tapes and just dominate the scene itself. But I want to start with day zero. Esham.
Okay.
I heard in the interview you were born in New York.
Yes, sir. I was born in New York, in Amityville, New York.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did you stay there before you moved to Michigan?
Well, a lot of my family, like my grandmother and stuff like that, they all was in New York. I came to Detroit when I was like 3 years old. So my mother and them would come to Detroit because my grandfather stayed here. So they stayed in Detroit with my grandfather, and they started their life in Detroit. But I was born in New York, though.
Cool. And so when you get to Detroit, what's it all about for you? What kind of area are you in? Where area did you grow up? I know you have a song called 7 Miles, so I'm wondering if maybe that's like the initial area that you went to.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was raised on the east side of Detroit off of 7 Mile. In the earlier days, it was like it was the Garden of Eden, you know. I grew up in a flourishing neighborhood. It wasn't burnt down or anything, you know. We watched the crack epidemic come in and destroy the city. So, I mean, like, when I grew up, there were apple trees in my backyard, pear trees. We was picking cherries off the trees. At the time, we didn't know this was the Garden of Eden. But then, slowly but surely, you know, something happened and something changed. You know, we lived through a drug war in our neighborhood, which was it was a bunch of people involved in it, but more famously known, it might have been White Boy Rick and them around there putting drugs in those neighborhoods. And we witnessed a lot of people that we knew in the neighborhood, you know, start getting murdered and killed. And they were like right down the street from our house, you know, and we seen all that stuff. You know, as time went on, slowly but surely, the apple trees and the pear trees and the cherry trees, they wasn't growing no more because it just started to change, and you seen the crack epidemic come in and slowly but surely destroy families in the city.
You would have to have a lot of consciousness and awareness to see that, right? To pay attention to that and to really grasp all that. What age roughly did you start seeing that transition happen?
Well, we were little kids, man. You got to realize that, you know. We came from that era where, you know, we were influenced by the streets. You know, I had an older brother who gravitated towards the streets more than I did. I didn't come from the streets, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a drug dealer or anything like that. You know, I went to school, you know. I was a school kid. And at those times, like in those earlier days, like we didn't have nothing. You know, there was no record companies around. There wasn't even nobody that we could look up to, you know, show us what to do. You know what I mean? So it was just, I just was young. You know, I started off really young, and I didn't know what to do. You know, we just started doing what we could do. You know, I got a hold to some equipment, and which was just like a keyboard and a drum machine. And while other people were locked into playing sports and doing whatever they were doing, you know, maybe getting into the streets, I just was in the room, mastering my craft, you know, doing what I didn't know at the time was pre-production and just learning everything I could learn about instruments and music and stuff like that. You know, although, you know, my first record was just played with 3 keys throughout the whole record, it just gave me a chance to, like I say, master my craft and just spend more time on the music, you know.
Yeah, I was paying attention to one of your talks where you said that, you know, you would rehearse on the 8-track so that way when you got in the studio, those 10 hours you have would be like maximize potential into those tracks, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a lot harder to make a record in those days, like you couldn't just copy and paste or, get on Pro Tools or anything like that, or you just didn't have all this software that synced your music up to the BPMs and stuff like that. It was really a lot harder to produce a record back in those days. Now, I will tell you something, like I seen a lot of people come on here, and a lot of people back in the day, a lot of people put records out, right? And there's a difference between putting a record out and actually selling that record. A lot of people came out with records, but they necessarily wasn't selling those records.
Right.
And the only reason I'm saying that because, nowadays anybody can put an album out, and there's not any work that goes into that. It seems like because they're not selling units, and that's what everything was based off, selling units. Because you put a record out, you feel like, you've attained a certain amount of success. You know what I'm saying? But it's really, they basically ripped off the music business. They stuck it up, for all of its value, So when we were selling physical copies of units, they were worth $10, Now everybody is getting a percentage of a penny, from a stream. So, a percentage of a penny, you have to get 99 percentages of a penny just to get 1 penny. Yeah. That's not any type of money. They're trying to pass the Fair Musicians Act, and they're lobbying for, musicians to get, 3 cents a stream. But my problem with that is where's the other $9.97 at? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just what I mean. It was a lot harder to sell records back in those days, and it's a difference between putting a record out and actually just selling a record,
Yeah, you do wonder that, right? Like with Apple Music and Spotify and Pandora putting the streaming attribute to how you can listen to music, right? So you can pay $9.99 a month for a subscription, but you can listen to as much music as you want for that $9.99 that month. You're not actually going to buy a physical CD anymore. So that's why they can't pay anybody anymore. They can't pay anybody because how do you divide that $9.99 people are paying for every single month?
Well, basically the $9 that they're paying a month shouldn't be going to the streaming services because they basically ripping the artists off right there.
Yeah.
They're not compensating anybody for their work, And I could go on for days and days about that, but I'm not trying to fight the system. I'm working with the system.
For sure.
That's just really what it is.
Definitely. I hear you on that, man. Now we're talking about you entering the music scene. I know you had friends that had some kind of beatbox making machines that they wouldn't show you guys. And you guys
it wasn't that. Like, we were just young kids, right? Yeah. And I had a friend of mine, his older brother was in a techno group, Transmat, what I'm thinking about? Transmat, like he was doing techno records. I forgot what it was, but his older brother had some equipment.
Yeah.
And he would let us kind of like play around in the studio. So he let us do that one day, and then I got the bug. We just all wanted to be in that studio with that equipment, but his older brother wasn't having it. So my brother ended up getting me some studio equipment. So that's how I started.
For sure. So talk about the lineage a little bit before you actually dropped the tape in '89. What was the progression like for you? Now, hip-hop is at a completely different state than what it is now, right? You got beatboxing, you got jitting. There was a whole different type of culture to it, right, than it is now. So I know that engulfed everything that was hip-hop at that time. Talk about how you involved yourself in it at that time.
Well, there was nothing, man. How we involved ourselves into rap music and the entertainment business in general was we had a product that was selling. We created a formula that worked. It was a lot of people, like I say, that put records out, but they wasn't necessarily selling those records. That's where the term Esham's dope hoe comes in. It was like, this is dope. Like, if your shit's dope, you don't have to convince nobody to sell it. You don't have to convince nobody to buy it. It's just like good dope. Good dope, sell itself. So that's that was our motto, good dope will sell itself. So if you make something that people want to hear, they're going to buy it from you, and nobody can stop that. Not the record companies couldn't stop it. Nobody could stop it. We were selling more records in the North Central region than major record companies. Like, our formula to this day is still being used by major record companies and artists across the world that don't even know where it came from. Like, they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. But it all roads lead back to Esham, man.
Yeah, Royce the 5'9" came out with a statement about that, saying you are the pioneer for what's happening right now in a lot of ways.
Well, you know what they say about the pioneers. The first one through the wall gets the bloodiest. You know what I'm saying? So I got the bloodiest. That's what it is. And I got the most knives in my back. But that's okay, too. You know? Because I feel like I've been fighting for Detroit for so long. You know, I mean, me and all my friends, like, it's a certain thing about Detroit, you know, that we hold dear to our heart. You know, like, we don't want no outsiders to come in and exploit our culture. It's just like, you know, you like, what's your ethnicity?
I'm Chaldean.
Chaldean, right.
Yes.
So that would be like me going, I don't know, to Israel. You know what I'm saying? And jumping right in the mix and start exploiting people. You know what I'm saying?
That could be validated.
Right. Like, so, you know, we hold that near and dear to our heart, you know, because a lot of people, they made sacrifices. A lot of people died along the way. A lot of people, you know. And for us to come and share our stories with people, you know, we hold the city near and dear to our heart. And we feel like we don't want anybody to benefit off of our struggles that haven't necessarily struggled with
I'll do
us.
you a favor then. If you say the words right now, cancel the podcast, I will cancel the podcast.
Well, why would I say that?
Because you just made the point.
Well, this is your podcast.
But if you said it, because
that's only if you wanted to say it. I'm just talking about exploitation.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
yeah, but you're a smart man.
No, I mean you too. That's what I'm saying. So that's.
But if you did say that, I would look like I'd be like, okay, this dude is the pioneer. This guy's the OG.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying nobody likes to be exploited. Nobody wants their struggles exploited without them people struggling with them.
But don't you feel like you would be a person that if you did see something that you could pull the plug on, you would do it?
Not in general. I'm just talking in like a sense of exploitation, you know, in the city of Detroit. Like, there's been people that come along and they use black music so selfishly to use it to get themselves wealthy.
We're talking about Eminem, right?
I mean, a lot of people take that model and the way he does business, and, you know, they do it for themselves the same way. And, you know.
Right, that's an interesting point. Right. But you have to look at this when you talk about somebody who is from the city. Like, if Eminem is from the city itself, right?
I mean,
then does it change the idea a little bit because of the color of the skin? Does it change the fact that he didn't go through the same things that maybe you went through or other people around you went through? Like, so you're saying that there's
we don't share the same struggles, no. Just like me and you don't share the same struggles.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for Coleman Young, do you know why most Chaldean people are even in Michigan?
Yeah, because most Chaldeans fled Iraq. My parents are from back that Iraq.
For sure.
They fled Iraq during Saddam's era.
And Coleman Young, you know what he did?
What did he do?
He gave Saddam Hussein the key to the city. And he was like, this is a haven. He's like, come on in here.
Right. Motor City was hot. A lot of my family flew out here because of that. That's where they kind of set up shop pretty much. And then it kind of got integrated. There was a lot of Chaldeans and, you know, African Americans just working together in whatever way possible. And, you know, liquor stores were opened up, gas stations were opened up, all those types of things were opened up. And, you know, it seemed like Middle Easterners got the better end of the stick when it came to that. Starting from ground zero, basically.
Well, I mean, I could see that, you know, but it's just like I'm saying, anything else. Like, nobody wants to be exploited. And Detroit has definitely been exploited, you know. And you know, we just don't share the same struggles as some other people might share. You know what I'm saying? We will not have the same struggles in life.
For sure. I totally.
That's all that is.
No, and listen, man, that is you know, we could argue about that for not even
it's not even an argument.
You're right.
It's just I'm stating something like
perspective, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I you know, and there's no argument towards that perspective because that's your culture, that's your something that you have to defend because, like you said,
I'm not even defending the culture. Okay. See, that's even with hip hop. Hip hop is for everybody, right? Okay. But everybody ain't for hip hop. Just like Detroit is for everybody, but everybody ain't for Detroit. You know what I'm saying? If you love Detroit, prove it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be out here sharing the struggles of Detroit without struggling with Detroit. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like, people want to sell Detroit struggle without struggling with Detroit. And I know a lot of people that died trying to do this rap music stuff. Like, this is a dream that people are chasing, but in reality, you know, it's a cruel business.
Absolutely. And that's it makes when you say it like that, it's almost like you're looking at where Detroit is right now with their music. They are, and there is exploitation happening, not only from other demographics that are entering the scene and exploiting it, but also the music industry itself exploiting it by taking styles and sounds and
Absolutely.
ripping off things here and there. Again, you being considered a pioneer by many of the legends of Detroit hip hop, and for the fact that your name isn't constantly mentioned or relativized. Isn't unfair and just that I think is happening. You know, I think your name should be brought up more. I think when people talk about Detroit legends and OGs, your name should be brought up more. And I think obviously with the whole debacle of the beefs that happened in the recent past that have recently become like more ironed out, that caused a lot of issues for you and a lot of turbulence for your career for sure. Because you're talking about mainstream artists that took it to the highest level and they're picking a bone with you and shoveling you down while they're going up. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I get that. Excuse me. It definitely is a difference between mainstream artists and underground artists. You know,
yeah.
A lot of the record companies might take a lot of their ideas from underground artists or concepts. I mean, you got to look at music in a whole. That's why everything kind of sounds the same now, because so many people were taking bits and pieces from everywhere till it all just kind of like sounds the same now. It depends on what, particular type of music you listen to. Me, myself, I've always tried to be different. You know what I'm saying? I've always made music different. I've always done different things. That's what I bring to the game, like just originality and doing something different. I don't try to do what everybody else is doing. And it's not just rap with me. It's all type of music, man. I do all kinds of music, So as a musician, I would, hope people would learn from me just experimenting with different kinds of music. I think the categories of music as far as rock, pop, jazz, country, all that stuff, that's the last frontier to segregation, man. That's the way you can separate people, because you put those labels on stuff and you get to say, oh, what this is and what that is, and, who belongs here and who belongs there. When music is just music. You can't put a beat in a category.
Right. I think they're just making it easier for consumption, right?
And segregation at that point.
So you have like some internal gripe with the industry right now? I mean, it sounds like you kind of do have something.
I don't have an internal gripe with the industry. I'm just an independent artist, and it's a difference between independent artists and the mainstream. Okay. I fund all my own stuff myself. Everything that you see done is coming out of my pocket. I'm a businessman. I've been in business for 35 years, you know. I ain't never left the city of Detroit to go get a record deal nowhere else. All my business come from here, started from here, and I do business from here. People know me because I'm from here, not from me going somewhere else. Like, people know me elsewhere from being from here. Like,
Facts.
like I love the city of Detroit. I love all the talent that's coming up in there. I just, like I say, just wish people would hold themselves in a higher regard when it came to the city and what they actually represent.
And I also think, and this isn't to make a counter argument to it or anything, but I do think that the artists that are representing the city are responsible for that as well. I don't think it's just the outsider people coming in that are taking advantage of it in whatever ways that they are. I think the artists that are mainstream level or touching the mainstream level are responsible for representing the culture of the city and bringing it to its highest frontier possible. I think they are, and I don't see them doing it all the time.
I mean, it's like it's everybody's own prerogative to do what they want to do in this business. So, I mean, I don't know why people do what they do, It starts with the music first, So it just depends on what kind of music you're making. Like, if they can't play your music in church, you making some wicked shit. I don't care what kind of music you making. If you talk about selling dope, killing people, that's wicked shit. All right? You know what I'm saying? So let's get this clear. Like, the sound of Detroit, the Detroit sound, oh, I made that sound up. y'all keep acting like that's not my sound. You know what I'm saying? But before me, there was none. You know what I'm saying? These people don't look better than me. They don't dress better than me. They don't rap better than me. They don't smell better than me. It's that's what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I am not here to get any flowers, because a man can't give me flowers anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to just set the record straight as far as doing business and doing good business. And when people mention the city of Detroit, they just They mention your name, you want them to say your name in high regards, like, you know, you putting the city up and not putting the city down.
Oh, for sure, man. And look, when you talk about the entire entertainment scene, when people talk about Midwest and the first sounds that they were hearing from the Midwest, your name always gets brought up as like the first thing that they were actually listening to and actually gravitating to.
Well, that would be amazing if people say, well, man, your name keeps getting brought up. That would mean I had a long
I'm talking about it that 90s.
career, though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about in the beginning. I'm talking about the beginning. I'm talking
Absolutely.
about 80s and 90s, right?
80s and 90s, but even from the 80s and 90s till right now, I'm still selling records to this day.
I see you.
Like that motherfucker. To this day. I'm
see
still
you.
selling records to this day. I sold a record the other day before I came here. Like, I've never stopped selling records.
If you brought a record here, I would have bought it, man.
All right, man,
You made
and
the
I would have
mistake,
sold
son.
it to you, but I'll give you a record.
Check this
You
out,
know what I'm
man.
saying? It ain't like that. I'm just telling you, like, I'm telling people that I'm in the record business. I'm selling records. I'm not selling dreams. I'm not playing record business. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people play record business. No, this is the real deal. This is real life. So I'm up here selling records, and I do a bunch of other stuff, man.
Let's talk about the lineage a little bit for your fans. I know they love hearing your story, man. We're talking about, you know, we're talking about the red tape and everything like that, but we'll pass by to Judgment Day.
Well, yeah, but let's continue with the red tape. Let me also bring something up about the red tape.
Okay, cool.
Before the red tape, there was no red zone. When the red tape got dropped, that's when the red zone came alive. It turned into the red zone. So the red tape has something to do with the red zone. It was peaceful before the red tape dropped. The red tape dropped, and then the red zone happened, man.
Okay.
Because it was a war zone going on out in the streets. And like I say, I don't sell dope, but I know a lot of people that do.
So you think that tape contributed to that area being solidified?
It contributed to people, giving people hope. See, once again, like I told you, I don't sell dope. I sell hope, man. When people see me, they have hope because they like, man, he made it from where I made it from. It is hard out there. We grew up in hell without a father. You know what I'm saying? Little kids.
Yeah.
So when people see me, I give them hope, man. That's what is going on here. You know what I'm saying? So if I stop, the hope will stop.
For sure. So let's continue the lineage a little bit. Just the tapes that you were dropping and the success that you were seeing at the time, early 90s, right? What was the scene like for you around that time? What were you perceiving at that time?
Well, the scene, it really wasn't no scene. You know, you had a couple people putting records out, like I said, but they didn't necessarily have any style. They were more or less doing what they saw on TV, whether it was gangster rap or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't just make up a rap, man. I made up a genre of music that so many people make millions of dollars to this day off of. To this day! To this fucking day off of. They make millions of dollars off this genre of music. So when I was a kid thinking I was just making up a rap, no, that's not what was happening. I was making a genre of music. And some of music's biggest artists to this day get paid off of my formulas, man.
You can see a lot of high success mainstream artists that do have some similarities to what you originated.
It's the formula. It's just like peanut butter and jelly is peanut butter and jelly. I don't care how you flip it. You can put nuts on it. You can put anything on it, but it's still peanut butter and jelly.
But even like the horrific aspects of the lyricism, sometimes like the ways that you went into it.
Absolutely. I made people push lyricism and push the boundaries of entertainment. Yeah. Yes, I did, you know, because I've been entertaining for a while. So, you know, with mastering my craft, you know, we figured out the formula for entertainment, man. So go ahead.
Is it a formula or is it literally something about you that generates these thoughts and ideas? Did you do it because you knew?
Formula. No, it's a formula. And I mean, it's something about me creating these things, but it's always been a formula. You know, if it wasn't a formula, it wouldn't work. People wouldn't copy it if it wasn't a formula. A formula is copied. People wouldn't copy the formula if it wasn't a formula. Okay. You know.
Is there a rhyme or reason to the lyricism, though, because of where, like, it is completely different, right? It is very gruesome to listen to.
Well, no, it's not gruesome. See, it's just street life. It's real life. Right. Real life is gruesome. Okay. If we go to Palestine right now, it'll be gruesome as fuck.
For sure.
You feel what I'm saying? That's gruesome. That's the wicked shit. Bombs being bust off. Little babies dying. Same thing happening in Palestine happening on the east side, man. So it's not gruesome. Mm-hmm. It's real life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what was happening. I was talking about everything, and I was a kid. People still want to hold me accountable for what I did as a kid. When I was 13, I talked about religion. I talked about sex, drugs, everything under the sun, because that's what's happening out there in those streets. And what people, when they heard what I was doing, they was frightened of it. But good, stay your ass out them streets then. That's what that red tape was all about, you know?
Sure.
It was a warning from the future.
For sure. And knowing that this is a blueprint basically for a lot of people to take and replicate and make millions and fortunes off of. It obviously is a bittersweet feeling for you.
No, it's not bittersweet, man. I'll tell you like that. I'm overjoyed, man.
Great.
I'm overjoyed because I'll tell you like this. My wife told me this, man. As long as the sun shine on my face first, everything behind me is just a shadow, dog.
Beautiful.
So that's what's happening over here.
Do you really believe the things you say?
Oh, absolutely, man. Believe the things I say, man. I'm the master of the universe, man. Lord of Lords, man. The original prince, man. And original king of Wakanda, man. I'm that guy, man.
Well, let's talk about current events for a quick second,
Go
man.
for it.
Let's talk about Purgatory.
Purgatory. See, Purgatory. I come from Boomin Words from Hell, and then now I'm at Purgatory.
Right.
The reason I talk about stuff like Purgatory and things like that, because I felt that the concept of Purgatory was it was cool, man. It was like no matter what you did in this life, let's just say you died and you was waiting in this waiting room called Purgatory. If somebody that was living said one nice thing about you or just said a prayer for you and said, man, I just hope, whoever, Esham's all right, I hope he get to heaven. Then you, in fact, would get out of that stagnated state in that waiting room of Purgatory and you would go to heaven. And I thought that was a great concept because I feel like we living in the times where people need to really get their soul in check, man.
Yes.
So that's what it's about.
And expand on that a little bit because essentially when people find truth within themselves, it does, as the genie says, set you free, right?
The truth will set you free. And that's just really what I'm all about, man. I'm a truth seeker and I'm a truth speaker. And that's all I've been doing. A lot of people are scared of me. They, just a misconception of what I do. I'm an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I don't sell drugs. I'm not into that. I don't tell young kids to go out there and do drugs. Although I entertain, I've said a lot of wild things, but people know, just like I'm telling you and continue to tell you, that I've been entertaining all this time. And that's just what it is when you get into the entertainment business. If you know that you're out there to entertain people, then that's what you're doing. Right. And like I say, I'm not out here trying to steer nobody down no wrong path or, tell them to get into a life of drugs and violence, because it just is in one place, the cemetery. So,
well, that's the astounding part about your lyricism is that when you read people's response to it and comments towards it, it's people saying that you helped them get out of depression, that you helped them get out of bad states, even though the lyricism wasn't designed, didn't really match a positive vibe.
But it did. It was like a psychological thing, Somebody tell you not to do something, then you go and do it. But somebody tell you to do it, you're more likely not to do it. So a lot of people might have came to me and found my music in a great depressive state, and I might have been kicking some wild shit like, yo, fuck your life. You want to give up? Kill your fucking self. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill somebody. Kill your fucking self and get out of here, And that made them think about, the choices and the actions that they were taking, and they might have got out of their little funk,
Yeah.
People say that I'm the happiest person on earth. So, I think they might have got something happy from it within the lyrics of, in every dark situation, you can get a little light out of it. So,
oh, for sure.
I think that's what I add to it. And then, over the years, I just, I try to make the music have more substance. I try to put a message in there. I try to be, like I say, as different as I can be. And I just don't want my music to sound anything like what's out there, man. Yeah. So I make music like that, and people appreciate it, and I'm not scared to experiment, and that's what I've been doing. Before I was sampling records, now I just, I got a whole band with me, or I'll just anything that's music related and just part of being creative. I'm all about that.
Oh, for sure, man. And you are prolific with your tape drops. It's not like you've taken a break, really. It's still all over the map. The timeline is still there. There's a lot of artists that come from the 80s and 90s that just disappear forever, and they come back expecting something, but you've been working.
Well, yeah, no, I've never stopped working, and that's the whole thing. That's the difference between an independent artist and a mainstream artist. Yeah. You might sign a record deal today, and you might even blow up, but once that record company is tired of you and your shit, you're gone. You won't hear from these people, and that's why you haven't heard from these people. They wasn't putting out their own records. That's the difference between somebody like myself, who had just come from grassroots type of upbringing. I come from humble beginnings, man. So we've always had to work. We've had to work harder than anybody in the mainstream because we are independent, and ain't nobody giving us nothing. Once again, everything we've gotten thus far, we've gotten on our own.
Yeah, we've had come on this podcast, and he was talking about how labels were, signing everybody from outside of the city, but when it came to Detroit itself, there was like this little bit of fear of dealing with the artist and what the artist brings with them, the baggage they bring, street beefs they bring, and all these types of things.
Not coming from you, but that is slightly racist because these people are scared of the struggle, man. They don't want to deal with these people, but they want to exploit them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I just, want more Detroit artists to be aware of, be aware of somebody trying to exploit your struggles and your trials and tribulations and not compensate you for it. Because people go through so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, they go through so much and make so many sacrifices. I would just hope they would get compensated for their stories and their struggles, man.
No, absolutely. Yeah, when I talk to people on this couch, when you hear the trauma-induced life that they live, it is an unfair just that their stories are told for profit or for monetization and nothing comes back to contribute to that artist or anything like that, which happens all the time. And labels do that too as well.
I mean, they do. But, how much can you really split with somebody when it's a point of a percentage of a
that's
penny?
the crazy part.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People really got to understand the mechanics of what's going on. I don't think you're making no money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not there. The numbers don't support, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. So,
Facts.
Just to get the word out there, I just, I want people to know that, like I say, Detroit is a beautiful place. When I came up, it was beautiful, man.
When people highlight your name, obviously some other names come with it. Some people you've had part of influence with, and people that careers you helped trajectory for. And obviously we bring up names like ICP and Eminem and stuff like that, where you got to see the trajectory of their careers, and you guys share a lot of similarities when it comes to lyricism, how your approach is to music, and everything that comes with hip hop itself. With the exception of like jitting and dancing and beatboxing and stuff like that. But it was an interesting tale, and I know everything's been cooled out since then. But talk about the beginning of that era of running into Eminem, running into ICP.
The first time I ever met Eminem, I don't even know if I want to tell that story. Yeah, it ain't right. Eminem, I have to tell that. But I met Eminem one time, like twice. But the first time I met him, it was ill. You know what I'm saying? And he had to be sitting on this couch for me to tell that story.
Right. Well, I think he's coming on next Monday. So when he comes on,
well, Em, if you come on here and tell that story, I'll back you up. You remember that first time I met you? Where the camera at? Which one? Where I'm at?
Are you saving the story for No Jumper, man?
I ain't saving no story for No Jumper. I really don't talk to people, man, because they just don't get the game, and it's a lot of culture vultures out here. Not calling you a culture vulture, L, but I'm just saying, like,
look, man, you're entitled to your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. I ain't call you one. I just said it's a lot of culture vultures out here, and I just want somebody to be down with me like I'm down with them. I'm down with the city of Detroit. I see you had a lot of people from the city on your show, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to that man.
And that's that's still an honor to have you here right now.
No,
man,
I appreciate you. That's what I'm saying.
But just to give people a highlight about that whole experience and that trip, what was that like? What was behind you, Eminem and ICP and everything like that was causing so much commotion and lineage?
There's nothing behind it. I mean, I've met ICP at the beginning of their career, man. I gave them their first rap job. You know what I'm saying? Proof from D12 used to go to my high school, man. I'm the person that made him want to be a rapper. I had rap records out when I was in high school, dude. I was that person that did all of that. But me, I would help everybody. Because that's just how I was raised. And what I mean by help everybody, I would let people get on shows for free, whatever I was doing. If you was inside the music community, you was more than welcome to come in. You know what I'm saying? There was no doors, if I was there, closed to you. You see what I'm saying? So once money and record deals and all this thing got into play, just the evils of the business step in, and the evils of, the root of all evil step in. A lot of people get different, man. Now me, I've always been around people that had money or, was well off. So them type of things never impressed me. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't tell you about somebody else. I've always been around a feast of food. I couldn't tell you about somebody who, come around and they never seen a hamburger and just start pigging out on, or shove it all down their face in a gluttonous way. I've never been that type of person, So a lot of these people get on, they get record deals, they get money for the first time, and it shows, We know you ain't got no money because you talking with your mouth full. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people like me, I've always, like I say, stayed humble, and I didn't let the business affect me as a person. I've always tried to keep my feet grounded on the ground. but I can see it when others, you know, get their first taste of success or whatever, whatnot, and they start treating people, you know, in a degraded manner or just, you know, just walk around like they shit don't stink. And I've just never been like that. And once that happens in the business, even back in them days, it changed a lot of people, and it got people arrogant, and people just got to fight and their tempers flared. Like, I was a young hothead. I probably wouldn't even sat in here, you know what I'm saying, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? My mans, everybody would have been strapped. We'd have punched you or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just on the tip. Not that I got to punch you now, because I'm real civilized. You know, real Jesus is my best friend type shit. You know, but I'm telling you, like, because there's no outlets for musicians in Detroit. Think about that. There's no, you know, Universal Records downtown. There's no Interscope record downtown. I can't bump into Jimmy Iovine's at Whole Foods out here. You know what I'm saying? So that frustration, that's what got people out here just mad, because they'll do anything to get a record deal or anything like that. Like, I seen so many people in the movie 8 Mile, not one of them could get a record deal after that. Not one of them, like, could get a real record deal after that. Even being in that huge movie of that, you know, what was a fantasy or something like that? I never seen it.
What?
8 Mile.
You never seen the movie?
No.
Why?
Because I live on 8 Mile. I know what the real 8 Mile look like.
How would you know if you didn't see it, what it is?
Well, it's a rap movie about a rapper that be punching motherfuckers in the face in the city of Detroit. That shit never happened.
How do you know you're not in that movie?
I know I ain't in that movie.
Damn. Did you get an offer to be in that movie?
Nah, they wouldn't give me no offer to be in that movie.
That would have been sick to see you in that.
I mean, it was just too much going on back then, man.
Right.
You know?
Well, you know, that's the interesting thing where, like, Proof was obviously in the movie, like, they had his own character or whatever.
That's what I would. When you like to know why Proof couldn't play Proof in 8 Mile?
I think they were. That is a good point, because Eminem played Eminem, but, like, Proof.
That's a question for him. And why Proof couldn't play Proof in 8 Mile? What did you?
But they did put a lot of Detroit rappers in there, like, that were upcoming.
That's what I'm saying, and none of those guys got record deals afterwards.
But you do have to wonder, like,
what was that about?
Remember this though. Remember what you said earlier in this conversation, that good crack sells itself, right? Mm-hmm. So if an artist is good enough, regardless of what type of exposure they're given, if they're not good enough, they're not going to make money.
No, absolutely. That means a lot of people wouldn't invest in you. But I would think if they was investing in the city and they was there for that that exploitation, you know what I'm saying, that they would at least compensate some of these people for their struggles. That's what I mean.
Okay, well, let's check this out, right? Let's check out.
It's all good if they don't, because they never have, man. This story goes on for thousands of years, man. They've been doing this since, you know, Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Check this out. When you talk about the beginning stages of it, we can name people that have been helped by the D12 era, by the Eminem era, by that camp, right? Because of the fact that 8 Mile was made and there was a lot of Detroit rappers on it that got exposure, that got the light at that time. Putting D12 on, getting Big Herc on a track, getting Detroit rappers on a track at that time, and really orchestrating with the city. You can say that Eminem and that camp and Proof were helping to tie the city together as best as their ability at that time. Could you see it while it was happening, or do you not see that happening?
I don't know. You know, I couldn't see it happening.
Okay.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about none of what they did, because you would have to ask the city that, you know what I'm saying, and who all they helped. You know, just I'm on the outside looking in. It just it was fishy to me that you know, that whoever those people came to exploit the Detroit, but they didn't compensate people for none of their
Well, weren't you? Didn't you had the opportunity to sign with them as well? Didn't you?
Who? No, I don't talk no business with them. Nope.
You didn't have an opportunity to sign with that camp at all, or like be a part of that at all?
No, why would I?
Okay.
Right. I mean, I don't have nothing against them, but I mean, they don't actually put records out. I mean, whose record they put out? I mean, is it a real record company? I'm asking. I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Shady Records. Last time I heard, didn't he say, don't say D12 no more? None of the guys in D12 could even say they in D12 no more. He told them, don't say D12 no more on one of them records.
He said that he's not.
He was like, y'all motherfuckers don't say D12.
He didn't say
heavy
that.
on the ER when he said nigger to him too. I don't know. Did he call him some niggers or something like that? Heavy on the ER.
Are you talking about Eminem?
Did he? Heavy on the ER to D12 niggers. Sorry.
Are you trying to get me to say something that's not
Did he?
true?
I'm asking. That's what you said.
No, there's a track where Eminem came out with recently, I think in the Kamikaze tape, where he basically gave his goodbyes to the group
Yeah,
as a
he
whole.
was like, fuck y'all niggers.
and
niggers heavy on the ER.
And check this out too, though. Check this out too, though, right? So D12 is from Detroit, isn't it? Like Proof is from Detroit.
I mean, I don't know.
So putting them on, isn't that part of contribution and
Hey, man,
helping
you know
Royce
what?
put together that tape with Royce, Devil's Night, all that stuff?
I guess. I mean, so he did enough, right?
I'm not saying he did enough, but I'm saying
He did what he was supposed to do. He helped his crew out.
I'm asking you to look at that perspective. I'm not saying to say he did enough. I'm saying, do you look at that and say that's a sufficient amount of work?
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for that, man. All I know is how I'm in the group with you, and you was like, nigga, don't say you in the group no more. Have me on the ER, nigger.
When did this happen?
It's on the album, some shit. I don't know, nigga. You got to look that shit up.
Okay.
Something like that. He said, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but it was to the degree of y'all can't say y'all in this group no more.
Okay.
Y'all can't use the name no more. Y'all can't even go out here and play at the VFW and say y'all D12.
Well, let's talk about that era a little bit. When everybody else is getting signed, everybody else is pretty much going straight to mainstream.
Who got signed?
Was it Eminem and D12 and all that group and Royce and them? I
just think Eminem got signed, and D12 was a byproduct of that. They put a record out, which did great. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of those guys own that record, but I did great for Universal and Jimmy Iovine and them.
What was happening for you at that time, and when you're watching this situation? First of all, why does it get to that point where you guys are not connecting or talking when you guys are sharing similarities with your rap style and everything like that?
I mean, you gotta ask them, man.
But what about you? Didn't you?
They started with me first. They started with me first. You gotta ask them.
Okay, so
you gotta ask them why they do that. You know what I'm saying?
You were mentioned on a track. Obviously, that was the first.
Sort of, but then, they slowly but surely took that off of all streaming platforms, even that line.
How does that make you feel as far as...
It don't make me feel like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm me. It's how does it make him feel? It made him feel a certain type of way where they removed it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make me feel like nothing. I didn't say it. He felt a certain type of way.
Okay.
Somebody did. You hear what I'm saying? Not to go back and alter all that like that to get it out of there. It ain't me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And at this time when all this is happening, all this kind of commotion and everything, you guys are supposed to be there's a story that comes out of nowhere that says you guys were on Warped Tour together, and Bizarre made a statement saying that they had to jump you, basically, like an altercation.
Well, first of all, Bizarre was over there getting some hot dogs from the hot dog stand. He wasn't even over there. Rufus needed to stop lying. You know what I'm saying? So he was over by the hot dog man getting some hot dogs. So I don't know if he even seen none of it. Like, straight the fuck up. But in all fairness, that was about the city of Detroit. It wasn't about no raps I made. That was about the city of Detroit.
Okay, how does it get to that point, though, where you guys
It'd be like motherfuckers be talking shit, and you just be like, okay, it's on site.
One thing that I heard, and not to say this is what stems everything, but that you were an initiator in the dissing as well. Like, you were an initiator in name dropping.
Because you don't say my motherfucking name and be talking no shit. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of that shit. We come from an era of rap where, you gonna say my name, bitch? It's on. You don't even know. Bitch, I'm coming. And I'm the only person that lyrically defeated Eminem. Hands down, flawless victory. Like, he didn't even respond. It was like me beating up on a baby. It's terrible.
People do argue about that for sure.
I mean, the truth is the truth. It is what it is.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, obviously, I know you don't. You're staying on the surface with everything, which I understand and I appreciate that.
I mean, it's nothing. I don't have nothing against these guys. It's just,
for sure,
you would have to ask them, why would y'all be talking about this man and he from the city? They ain't talk about nobody else. Go talk about somebody else in some other city, but why would you go at this man? And I just feel like it was a attack on my character, just attack on my stance in the marketplace. I'm moving units, I'm doing all type of shit, and I don't have the bosses that they had. I'm my own boss, so I was doing all this on my own. So when my shit got fucked up at the Warped Tour, they fucked my money up. You know what I'm saying? And Eminem them can go back home and laugh it off, and because they with the big record companies. But me, I took a hit doing that.
And now the people that physically assaulted you are a part of the group, or is it outside of the group that physically assaulted you?
I mean,
there was group goons and shit like that, or was it actually physically people from the group that?
I mean, I'm from Detroit, man. You know what? We really don't be talking about that type shit, like dirt and shit that we did.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit ain't really shit. I can tell you like this, I got in a lot of fights in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it was about 30 of them niggas, but I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight a bunch of niggas today or tomorrow, but that ain't it. Like, we got up and walked away. You know what I'm saying? But that's just, we was fighting proof in them.
Yeah.
Proof was the one we was fighting, but Proof ain't here. And I squashed all that shit with Proof. Like,
For sure.
I'm the reason that beef got squashed, not nobody else. Like, all these stories you hear, no, it was because of me. Because Proof called me right before he died. He made up with me. He told me a bunch of stuff about his label and all the discrepancies that he had and all the stuff that was going on over there and what Paul Rosenberg and all them was doing over there to him and how they played him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I know what he said and I know what he went through. You know, but we was man enough to squash that shit. You got to think about somebody hatred for me all these years that they don't want to see me win in no kind of way. They not, nigga, Jay-Z and Nas squashed they beef. These niggas won't even. You hear what I'm saying? Nah, it's deeper than that. It's deeper on a deeper level.
I think like one of the things is obviously when you mention certain people's names in songs, like when you mention a daughter or anything like
man,
that.
shut the fuck up with that whole shit.
I'm just saying, son.
Nigga, you out here talking about mention a daughter. This nigga can say anything he want about somebody.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
no,
it ain't no motherfucking when you mention shit. When you say my name, it's on. This is fucking rap, nigga. You said something about Christopher Reeves. He was paralyzed. What about his family? You said something about Michael Jackson. That's my motherfucking boy. Now what? I'm not you, but lyrics. This is what I'm saying though. So ain't no motherfucking you said something. So if he's still butthurt about that, fucking good, bitch. I'll say it again. Fuck him.
All right, let's move on from that.
Yeah, let's move on, nigga.
Listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot of tension.
It ain't no tension. It's just hoe shit. Like, niggas do hoe shit and motherfuckers say something to their ass. That's it.
Yeah, but, you know, like you said, Proof helped mend the situation.
I helped mend the situation. Before Proof passed away, yes. Yeah.
And
I did.
I think it's unfortunate for the city because of the fact that it's like this this could have been a dynamic duo. This could have been a group. This could have been something bigger. But unfortunately, just doesn't work like that all the time.
I don't care about that. It's not like I'm not trying to collaborate with nobody. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just telling you my part of the goddamn story. For sure. I ain't got nothing against these motherfuckers. This is the record business. But motherfuckers hold grudges against me for 30 years, and I'm too old to hold grudges. I'm too busy counting my blessings to hold some grudges, man. What the fuck I'm gonna do that for? And ain't nobody ever helped us do a motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas been riding on coattails. Ain't nobody helped us do shit. And I ain't looking for no motherfucking help. So don't sit here and insinuate like I want to work with these niggas, because I don't. That ain't what's going on. I'm just saying niggas quit hating on me. Them niggas was dropping my name first. I ain't said shit about them. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Until they said some shit about me, and not everybody or whoever want to bring up, oh, you said something about his fucking daughter. Yeah, you goddamn right I did. I say something about his motherfucking mama, anybody else. You know, this fucking hip hop. You know what I'm saying? This hip hop, this ain't fucking R&B.
Right.
Ain't no fucking rules in hip hop. And if it was, then motherfucking niggas wouldn't be out here fucking getting exploited. That's how you know ain't no rules, because niggas getting exploited for their fucking struggles. Anyway, bro.
Real shit. Listen, man, I know what the fuck you're saying at the end of the day. You know? You're a very surface level talker, but I do appreciate that. I think if people read between the lines, they know exactly what the fuck you're saying.
Hey, I'm flat out. I'll tell you right the fuck up. I ain't gonna hold your motherfucking ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about yourself personally, man. Your own spiritual journey, as far as watching yourself and your own timeline progress as a human, and how has your thought process changed throughout time?
Spiritually, my thought process is the world is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's just as fucked up as Palestine right now. You know, I'm on that. I view the world, man. I don't just make music for Detroit. I make music for the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And when motherfuckers disrespect my heroes, I take that shit personally. You talk shit about Michael Jackson, you talk shit about Prince, nigga, I'm taking that shit personally. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck who took anything I ever said on record. That's how you know my shit potent. That shit still hurt these niggas' feelings 40 years later. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. Your feelings still hurt? Fuck you then. Your feelings should be hurt, you bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody's feelings are still hurt.
Niggas' feelings is hurt. Don't think they ain't. Don't think these niggas' feelings ain't hurt. I'm the blueprint. I'm exactly what these niggas want to be. I've been to where they going, nigga. Don't think I ain't. I've been to the mountaintop, overlooking the whole fucking valley, nigga. Don't even fucking, Jesus my best friend. Y'all know. And y'all can try to count me out all you want. Count me out all you want, motherfucker. And I'm still counting. I'm counting faces 40 years later.
When did you feel like, as far as reciprocation wise from your audience and from everything you have accomplished, went downwards, or was...
My shit ain't never went downwards, nigga. The stock is raising the roof.
Okay.
I'm still in business, nigga.
Right.
All the niggas I see up, nigga, I'm still in business. I don't have no big homie, nigga. I am the big homie. Come on, man. I'm in business right now to this motherfucking day. To this day, nigga.
I know it.
To this day.
I know
What
it.
the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I tour the world. I go everywhere off a boy coming from the east side of Detroit, man, with no motherfucking help, nigga. I'm talking about none. I don't know no famous people. The most famous motherfucker I know, they all went to prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't know no famous people. All I know is how to hustle. And if you got something from me directly or indirectly, I just taught your motherfucking ass how to hustle. Yeah. And niggas be bumping their motherfucking gums about me, but they need to shut their dick suckers.
As far as this new tape that's coming out, man, when we just talked about the first tape that drops to this tape being it, what can people see the differences with how you're putting out your music now?
I'm just woke now. I'm fully awoke, man. I'm a woke lion in the jungle, and these motherfuckers sleep, and everybody pray. That's it. I'm woke.
Are you still paying attention to hip hop itself?
I pay attention to everything. I am hip hop. I'm all of that shit though. I'm a musician though, homie. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because of me, motherfuckers like Beyonce will make a country record. I inspire motherfuckers to do different things. That's what people get from me, man.
You feel like you influenced Beyonce?
I would say I inspired people to do different things.
Okay.
I think she might have got a hold of my record. I'll tell you like this. Let me tell you how far this shit go. The University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, right now, they're in the ACC tournament. The whole basketball team, the blue and white boys, shout out to Armando Baycott and the rest of the team over there. They've been beating ass out there in the college basketball tournament, going all the way. And all those people on that team listen to my music to get motivated, to get them pumped up, to go out there and fuck shit up. Yeah. The reason they fucking people up and beating ass, because they listening to the hardest music in the world. That's what the fuck I make. I make the hardest music in the fucking world. Yeah. That's it, nigga. And can't nobody take that from me, and they know it's the fucking truth. And that's what the fuck they scared of. And I ain't got no boss, nigga.
Independent completely. Pretty much.
I'm the definition of it, man.
Talk about some of your experiences, man, just cradling through the industry, just walking through the industry itself.
Listen, the industry ain't shit. It's too hot in here, Kid L. I gotta go. I'm done with this interview, man. I feel like I done said a bunch of shit I shouldn't have said.
Okay, all right.
I don't give a fuck. But this, I'm saying it, nigga. But it's over with. Kid L, you my man's. But I'm done with this shit, man.
All right,
I gotta go. Yeah, and how I'm gonna talk about dead people, man? Motherfuckers, anybody that ever touched me is dead. So what I'm gonna say about that?
For sure.
I'm out of here, man. You do what you want to do with that, good sir. Thank you.